All right, you're gonna be on the film. Come outside. All right, soldiers. About to hit this back day. Tell them what's good. Tell them what's good. She's a little camera shy, a little anxious. All right, if it's a back day, what would your recommendations be for back day?
Pull-ups and accessories.
Okay, yeah.
Pendlay.
Barbell Pendlay rows, weighted pull-ups, some accessories like cable lat pulls. For biceps, I'll probably do some alternating dumbbell curls. Cannons. Cannons. Woo! Yes, sir. You know what it is. Like I was saying upstairs, back day. Definitely want to focus on, for me, you know, obviously when you're training, I mean, I don't do like physique shows and fucking get on stage and stuff like that, but you know, when you really honestly look at your physique, you should obviously prioritize what you want to build. I mean, even if you're doing some sort of like strongman conditioning or just conditioning like Metcons, I mean, you still tailor that to be focused on, you know, certain muscle groups, certain pulls, certain mechanics, certain lifting patterns, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to, are you pushing heavy things overhead? Are you pushing heavy things in front of you? Are you squatting heavy? Are you squatting with depth? Are you squatting heavy? Are you pulling things, right? Do you have your back days? Are you doing farmer's carries? Are you loading your back heavy? And you know, I would argue that basically every muscle group can be hammered. You know, you kind of hear people say, "Hey, back is one of those muscle groups that can be hammered," or legs are one of those muscle groups that can be hammered. And next thing you know, you've said every muscle group. So every muscle group can take a beating, and through trial and error, you guys can find like what that balance is and what that kind of stimulus to fatigue ratio is. Because again, I'm not here to annihilate, and you shouldn't be training to annihilate, especially if you're thinking long term, right? Macro view, when you're looking from above over the course of a month, let alone 3 months, let alone 6 months, over a year, 2 years, 10 years, right? You'll realize that obviously every workout doesn't need to be fucking hardcore and just going crazy, because then recoveries, you're not going to be recovering. And if you do recover, you're not going to adapt, right? There's a big difference between recovering back to normal and getting the adaptation and getting that super compensation, whether it's strength or growing new tissue, right? That takes time, and that's more than recovery. So anyway, I'm not going to rant too much on that, but I'm going to warm up a little bit, and we'll get it. All right, I'm going to warm it up a little bit. I'm going to do some bar hangs, do some band pull aparts. I'm going to do just some arm circles, just get a bunch of blood into the upper back and the shoulders. Maybe some light dumbbell rows, right? Some squeezes, and just get some contractions. But yeah, all that shit's going to be really just, you know, away from failure. Again, the goal here is to kind of activate, start priming the muscle, and start feeling good. So don't take your warm-up sets hard, because that's what they are. They're warm-up sets. You want to save your energy for those working sets, right? So anyway, let's do it. All right, got the belt, kettlebell, 20 pounds, just warming up, getting a couple warm-up sets. Well, excuse me, with the 20, I think my working sets today, you know, I'm gonna try to stay around, you know, 6 to 10 reps weighted. Good form, good contractions. Again, the form doesn't change even as the reps get hard, right? Basically mechanical failure, not sloppy, like jerking it and just trying to get my chin over the bar. So still wanna be in the mindset of building muscle, getting stronger. So I'm thinking 35 to maybe like a 53 pounder for a top set for 6 reps maybe, but honestly I want to stay with what I know I can hit, and that's 35s for that 6 to 10 range. So I'm still gonna get a good pump, a lot of obviously mechanical tension versus like stress, right? So I'm not doing high rep rows, that'll be later on for my accessory stuff. So this is, you wanna think, getting the strength stimulus to the body. Obviously body weight being 225, that's already pretty heavy. Getting that for reps, I'm adding 35 pounds to my frame. So my body's gonna feel that. You know, you gotta find what gives you the best pump, what makes you guys feel strong. You can connect with the muscle, and usually that 6 to 7 range, whether it's a barbell lift, you know, squats, weighted pull-ups, you know, whatever it is. Heavy bench press is usually the low range for people to stay connected, get a decent pump, and you know, not just be focusing on strength. Usually anything under that 5-6 range, rep range, is going to be more strength based, and really anything after that, you know, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 25, 30 reps, it's all back to that reps in reserve, right? Are you getting close to failure? Do you have 3 or less reps in the tank, maybe 4 or less on the high end? And that's the goal. So anyway, let's do it. All right, so I'm swapping weight, swapping this 20 out, going 35. Put on the 35 piece. I'm gonna go for at least 6. I know I'm gonna get at least 6. If I get 7, 8, I'll be cool with it. And yeah, let's do it. Yes, sir. We're getting it, boys. So I think that was 7 reps, 7 or 8. Felt good. It was definitely heavy. Maybe I could have done 1 more if my life depended on it, but really looking for that one in the tank still, right? Because this is a heavy compound lift. You don't need to be going to absolute failure. And if you want to, I mean, do it, but that's up to you to figure out, you know, when you get fucking smoked, you start burning out, or getting even weaker over time, or you're just not feeling recovered. That's probably a big variable, right? You're taking everything to failure, your body can't handle that. So, you know, earn your top sets, enjoy the warm-up sets, get good reps in, keep the quality high, and then, you know, you'll obviously just get the most out of your training, the most out of each set, the most out of each rep. But anyway, that was feeling good. Getting a good pump. You know, shoulders and back are feeling good. And I'm gonna rest for, you know, keeping the clock going. I'm gonna rest for another minute, maybe 90 seconds, and hit this one again. All right, last set with the 35. Let's get it. Damn. So got 8 reps on that one. You know, basically 6 in and out. Dropped on my 7th rep. You know, kind of regrouped for a sec. Got that one. Regrouped again, and then got my 8. But yeah, that's it. So that was 4. That was 4 good sets, right? Two sets with the 20 pounds. 2 sets with the 35. I think I'm honestly gonna try the 53 and just get like a hard, you know, 3 or 4 reps, and then call it there. So. Obviously I did a supinated grip on that one, right, palms up. I was just feeling, already kind of smoked actually just from those 4 sets. So I decided to go supinated, get the chin up version. Yes, it's a little bit more biceps, still working your back, still a good heavy vertical pull. That was like 5 or 6 reps. So anyway, I'm gonna end on that. And now I'm gonna get into a barbell Pendlay row. An awesome lift to build that starting strength from the floor and just kind of that raw power. You know, you have to move fast, you have to learn to contract your back, and you have to learn to keep positioning. So I'll show you guys that one. So basically every rep, you guys are actually gonna stop the barbell on the floor. So when the plates touch, you completely stop. You don't need to like let go of your grip or anything, but you just stop on the floor, keeping your grip, pull, stop on the floor, pull. Right, we're gonna be going for sets of probably 6 to 10 again, 7 to 10 reps. Something heavy, something tough. Hopefully I'm touching anywhere around 205 to 225 and see how that feels, and then probably finish my last set with a drop set, just to get in that extra volume and, you know, smoke the muscle for that top set. So let's do it. You guys need to maintain neutral body position, right? Like a hollow, neutral core sure, even a little bit arched, kind of hyperextended in the lower back. Obviously, you'd rather have that than being, rounded, especially in your lower back, right? So really work on bracing your core, actually flex your core, right? Just kind of keep that pressure built up in your torso and in your abdomen. That way you don't break, right? Just like if I were to squat and then completely exhale, right? My body's gonna fold, right? It's like having a hole in a can, right? So think about staying tight, staying rigid, pulling scaps. My arms are gonna be at that 45, right? Kind of tucked, not super tight and tucked, but just 45. It should feel natural. And that's gonna be the most, basically, advantageous position for you to be able to move weight efficiently, move the most load possible, and, hit, tons of different muscles in your back, your mid traps, your rhomboids, your rear delts. Obviously getting a little bit of biceps in there too, just because the weight is so heavy. That's always tough. Got 10 reps, felt good. I'm just gonna stay about here. I might add a little bit of weight, but I'm liking that range for the day. Again, rep ranges, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. Again, you're hitting that 7, 8, 9, 10 plus, all the way up to 30 reps. You guys are gonna be giving that signal to your body to grow muscle, right? If those are hard sets, you guys only have 1, 2, maybe 3 reps in the tank, you're going set for set vibes. I mean, that's where you guys wanna be. So, that's just probably the first point that I would check on your training, right? For those that are new to the gym, maybe kind of beginner, even intermediate. It's really easy to do. You're training with different people, different vibes, whatever, but the best progressions you're gonna get as far as consistency and seeing that progression over time is hitting the same fucking lifts all the time, right? And then from there, yeah, maybe you change, deadlifts into a deficit deadlift. Maybe instead of standard bench press, you do, from the rack, you push from the pins every rep. Maybe instead of barbell, it's dumbbell. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be changing the stimulus all the time. And I think that's the new thing. That's the new shit in the fitness game is, guys that are super veterans, they're on gear, or they've been in the game a fucking long time, fucking 10, 15, 20 years, and they're teaching a lot of these younger people that even group training, right? They're teaching people that you got to confuse the body, you got to change things up. No, you don't. You want to stay as consistent as possible, and you want to get fucking good at that lift, right? You want to get really, really good, really smooth, really efficient, and learn how to contract the muscle that you're hitting, and then watch that progression grow over time, right? And add intensity as needed, but it's not about changing it up. So you should have your main lift. So hopefully you guys are grabbing a little bit of information and getting some tips on how to train back, how I set up my volume, what an actual back day looks like without being, gimmicky and without basically cheating you guys, right? Or cheating anybody watching this, because it comes down to hard training and hard sets, right? You just can't get around that, and progression over time, getting really good at that. So anyway, these Pendlays are feeling nice. So I'm gonna get a couple more sets. Let's do it. So at the end of the day, you guys gotta be able to open your back, and you have to lift sternum and pull through, right? Protract, lift sternum, pull. Open back, lift sternum, pull, versus just arm extended and pulling, right? That's basically, you guys are keeping it isometric. You're not opening your back. It's not gonna look like you train back, right? You're gonna be tight and jammed. You're gonna be small. You're not gonna have any density because you're not used to hitting those ranges, right? So you gotta be able to protract your back and then squeeze through. So just something to focus on anytime you train back, right? Just like with chest, if you're not hitting depth, how do you plan on opening your chest and having this big fucking barrel chest or whatever you're trying to do, right? Obviously grow your chest if you're training chest, right? How do you expect to have dimension and size to your chest if you're not hitting all ranges, right? If you're just always in the top end and just doing lightweight and pumping, right? If you're never opening and stretching and then pushing through, right? So there's something to think about for cues on back is protracted shoulder, lifting sternum, and popping chest, all right? So anyway, I'm on these one-arm rows. I'm gonna get 4 sets, 10 to 15 reps. More like pump work, right? A little bit higher volume, once I connect, and then getting reps once I'm connected, and just keeping that pump going and keeping those straight lines, right? And this one is definitely focused on the lats. So anyway, feeling good. Let's do it. Anyway, I don't really know what the next vid is gonna be, to be honest. But stay swole, eat good, train consistent, basic shit. Peace. I just tried to bounce out, but so third lift was dumbbell snatches, seated dumbbell snatches. 4 sets, 4 to 5 sets. I was alternating 3 to 5 reps per arm with a heavy dumbbell. So got my ass sneaking on me. All right, so multiple sets. It was alternating, trading off 4 to 6 reps per arm with those seated dumbbell snatches. Shit just lights up the traps, feels good. A lot of rear delts, a lot of upper back. So anyway, those are 3 good lifts for back day. You know, a heavy vertical pull, a heavy snatch, and then a heavy horizontal row. So those Pendlay rows. Then obviously, like accessory work would be, you know, lat work, single arm lat pulls, band pull aparts, you know, single arm pull downs. 1 arm horizontal rows, right? So like those hard, tough sets, you guys should only have, you know, 4 or less reps in reserve, or like a 6 or 7 RPE, right? If you're getting anything less than that relative to the scale you're talking about, then you're basically just, you know, you're kind of just wasting that set, if that makes sense, right? So as far as how much stimulus you could have gotten out of that set, you know what I mean? So something to think about as you guys are training. Use that reps in the tank, use that reps in reserve scale. And if you guys have, you know, let's say 5, 6, 7, 8 reps in the tank, sure, you're maybe working on form or, you know, whatever the case is, but as far as like muscle growth and strength, you know, you're leaving a lot on the table during your training, right? That valuable hour that you're obviously drove to wherever you're training, or putting your energy in and into your training and you know, committing to getting in these sets, you're just leaving a lot on the table if you have you know, more than that. So really shoot for that 1, 2, 3 reps in the tank when you're hitting those sets, man. Shit is bright as hell. So anyway, I'm about to eat. I got chicken thighs, white rice, broccoli. Actually, I don't know if I cooked broccoli, and I'm starving, so I don't know if I'll even have time to eat that, but I'll show you that meal. All right, let's do it. 2 cups of rice, and I'm doing some of this chicken thighs. Had this cooking as I was training. About, I don't know, what is that, 7 ounces, 8 ounces of meat. I don't even know, just fucking eating, trying to get in my 2 pounds of meat, 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of meat a day. So getting my protein, getting my carbs, getting some healthy fats from the chicken. Obviously, I'm probably gonna do that with some of this sweet tea right here. So macros on that. You can see that. Having 12 ounces, maybe more, so getting at least 35 carbs of straight sugar from that. And anyway, that's my post-workout meal. Give you guys an idea of kind of what I like to eat, actual meal, not just, you know, 150 calorie protein shake. You know, that doesn't cut it. That doesn't hold. That's not going to hold my frame. You know, it's not going to hold most people's frame if they're putting in hard training. So yes, sir. Peace.